Good evening, everyone. God bless you. And we are happy that you're joining with us for our third podcast. I want to invite you to the registration page you'll find on the flyers, a little QR code there. And please invite all of your church leaders, ministry heads with their spouses, and prepare for the April 18th
Marriage and Ministry Brunch, featuring our good friends all the way from Virginia.
Yes.
Elders Chester and Kathy Dockery. Woo!
Yes. Woo!
So yes, please do make sure that you register right away. We want to make sure that we have a good full house because we're going to receive full word from our guests.
Blessings to you and everyone that's joining us. Wow. This is podcast number 3.
Yes.
We're going to be talking about some good stuff.
Yes.
And some pretty important stuff, especially when it comes to marriage. Now, as you know, so that everybody, we can bring you up to speed, we've been at it back and forth for 30 years. Give or take, almost, if you continue to act right. And, of course, our good friends, the Burgess, there are 2.
We're going 3.
Going on 3, but right now we're 2.
Yeah.
2.
2, yeah. Y'all connected. You guys are connected. Yeah, so this whole idea about finances is so it's deep. It's very in your face.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, when we were talking about it, and I want to touch on it a little bit more later, but what we was talking about is sometimes you end up in an atmosphere where you feel like concerning finances, and let's stop calling it finance. Let's talk about it being money. How you feel about money.
Yeah.
And some people feel about money like it's mine.
Yeah.
I think I'm that person that feels like it's mine. And,
Really?
and she is, no, not really, but she is the one though that she coined this phrase a long time ago. I listen to it and I tremble every time she say it. But go ahead, you can say it now.
Run me my money.
Run me my money.
I heard her say it. I didn't get it.
Run me my money.
Run me my money.
Run me
my money.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so wait. Now, Kathy, you got to elaborate on that just a little bit.
Well, really, I don't really feel that way. I just joke around with him. But early on in our relationship, he started with really running me my money. He would actually just give me his entire check. And that's not what I really wanted.
All right.
What I wanted was for him to run the finances. I had been running my finances all of my life. I was a single mom when I met him. Yeah. And I was like, okay, honey, take the reins.
Beautiful.
But that didn't happen. And we'll get into that a little bit.
We'll definitely get into that more at the brunch. So we can be a little bit more transparent. We're trying to maintain an image here, if you know what I'm
saying. Save some stuff for the
brunch. But what we found out is that what we feel about money is oftentimes revealed in how we approach one another.
Mm-hmm.
And if we individually do not have a healthy self-perspective on money, we bring that same atmosphere to our marriage.
Right.
So just to elaborate a little bit on what she was saying, I had no problem with per se taking over, but I come from an atmosphere where when I started working as a young man. Most of the people in my era start working, in their teens.
Yeah.
So as soon as I get my check, my whole thing was, here, Mom, do what you need to do, because my mother was a single mother also. So my response to accountability was, here, Mom, you do what you have to do. So by the time we got together, circumstances being what they were, I was like, listen, I'm going to let you do what you need to do.
Yeah.
But I missed her need for me to handle the responsibility.
Mm.
And that didn't happen until we had some serious conversations. And this is why we keep going back to that foundation of communication has to go beyond the not even the honeymoon, the impressionable time. We're
Yeah.
always constantly trying to impress each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, and oftentimes, you have an atmosphere where you're coming from a different perspective than I have, and we haven't sat down to work out what we're going to do with those two perspectives.
Right.
One of the things that I like is when you bring two attitudes together, there has to be a point of compromise.
Yeah.
But we live in an atmosphere now, and I've looked at a lot of content dealing with finances, and a lot of that is not about a lot of that is about minds.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so you have an atmosphere where it's what I bring versus what you bring. There's a competitiveness. And what I love about the Lord, what he pointed out to me is that the world is always trying to separate.
All right.
God is always trying to join.
Yeah.
That's good.
So it's interesting when you talk about your finances, and this is where it gets really good to me. I don't know how she feels about it, but it gets really good to me because what you say to yourself affects what is done.
Uh-huh.
As soon as I start saying, well, I'm going to give her this, or I'm going to give her that, or she needs to give me this, or she needs to give me that, I've separated the fact that we're in this together.
Yeah. 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 And also, when you talked about the responsibility part, he would give me the money and he would say, that's it. And he'd wash his hands. So he had no responsibility. So I was responsible for
It's a lot of money, though.
Okay. Now it is. Back then it was not.
Go ahead.
But I was responsible for making sure everything got paid. So sometimes what he brought home did not cover everything, even including my income. So then I felt responsible for somehow finding the finances to make sure that every bill got paid. And he would sit back and say, why is the light bill so high? Why is that bill so high? And I was so frustrated because I said, he doesn't see how much this bill is and how much money he's giving me and how much I'm making. It doesn't cover everything.
Right.
But to him, I've given you the money, so you should be handling it. That didn't work for me.
And it didn't work for her, but don't forget there's parts of you that is always exposed in marriage. Okay? She's a giver. So, and I'm not using this, it's a contributing factor. I'm using it as a contributing factor. Now, there are times when, of course, you're always going to go through lean times. But we're going through lean times, and I'm saying, yo, I want to have money to eat next week. And you're talking about the Lord said, bless this person with this. I'm like, wait a minute, because I'm a literal person at this point, right?
Yeah.
So there is not even a conversation about our giving to our ministry or in ministry. So there is a combativeness that is happening behind the scenes.
Yeah.
We say I do on paper, but then we don't do what we say because we're already separate in how we're going to approach things. Does that make sense what I'm saying, right? So even though I felt that what I was giving her covered, I didn't look at what was needed to cover. And then I would say, well, wait a minute. Why is this? Why is the lights off? Or why is the gas not? Or this and that? Because I felt that what I had taken care of and being traditional. See, the world is very, very problematic for the men and women of God because God teaches a completeness. The world is fragmented. So it's always like what I bring versus what you bring. God doesn't say that. As I was looking at this, when we get married, we marry everything.
Yes, we do.
So I marry her spending habits, her debt,
What?
her saving.
You had that
Yes.
too.
I know her saving habits and her perspective, but she also had mine as well.
Yeah.
So these are the intricate things that have to be set down and say, you know what? Yeah, I know you're a giver, and I know that you're sensitive because of your calling. But in the same token, I know that I don't want to participate in that.
Mm.
Right. And we had to have a conversation, and we didn't do that until a little bit into our marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Yeah,
it's never too late to have these conversations, and you
yeah,
have to have them at some point. So,
Right.
because that isolation. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Come on.
Go ahead, babe.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
To what Kathy said, that you have to have that conversation at some time, and it's never too late. If you're going to be successful with managing your finances, better sooner
yeah.
than later.
Yeah. And one of the things, talking about finances, one of the things that I was always accustomed to, because I did it by myself,
Mm-hmm.
but it was still important to have a family meeting, even though I didn't have any family with me. I would
That's
grab my
good.
son and his wife, and we'd have a family meeting and we talk about spending habits. And
It's a good.
Yeah.
what'd you say,
I
baby?
said it's a good thing.
And
It is.
the first time he and I had it,
Oh my.
oh my goodness, you would have thought I pulled out 4 teeth with no Novocaine.
Because even as you, I'm sorry, but even as you're saying it, you notice how we're saying it. Look how we form it.
Yes.
You guys are like, I had to do that by myself. Well, we had to do it by ourselves too.
Yeah.
Wow.
The perspective is that we're married on paper, but we're single in practice.
Yeah.
Mm. You're talking about finances.
Finance.
Oh, okay. All right.
But
All
That's,
right.
I
that's the
agree.
bottom line. Right.
Yeah.
So, so for us, it became a point of re-examining where your mentality is at concerning that.
Right.
Unfortunately, a lot of our community, and I'm not talking about community as it relates to culture, I'm talking about what we're exposed to as young people. We're not, a lot of us are financially illiterate.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Mhm.
So as we learning things, we're learning things at our own pace, but life is happening. Life is lifing.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, we have children now who are playing basketball. We got to take them to practice, and we got to go to tournaments and Waterbury and all these different things. All that stuff takes
The
money.
cost. Yeah.
It costs.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Life cost.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Life.
one of the things that Burgess said to me when we were, starting to have the conversation about finances, and you mentioned it, and that's why I said, Chester, I do agree. We bring our perspectives, and he even
Mm.
brought his singleness into the
Yeah.
conversation. Because remember when you told me, babe, well, I didn't have to worry about anything else. If I ate, I ate, and if I didn't, I didn't. It was on me.
Yeah.
It was just about me. But
Right.
now that I'm in the picture,
Yeah.
go ahead, baby.
I have nothing to say.
He's so much more conscious of,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it's a challenge when I know for us, because we've only been 2 years in, almost
Mm.
3, and we have had our own independent lives all these years,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
Yeah.
both have businesses,
Mm.
and so it does manifest a little differently, but I think we manage it well. Like,
Mhm.
he handles the things he knows he needs to handle. I handle the things that I know needs to get handled. And thanks be unto God, nothing has fallen through the cracks.
And
Yeah.
yeah, it's really the way we got together, the way we sat down, the way we discussed finances, the way we manage things, everything just kind of meshed and just
Mm.
rolled right along. We didn't have
Mhm.
conflict and pulling and tugging. Um, And to she said earlier when she started, having these family meetings, I when it hit the calendar, I got it's like, ooh, geez, because there were certain things that needed to be done that I had not gotten done. And with doing that, it keeps me, and I'm grateful, it keeps me in line. It keeps us moving. And when we talk about having conversation, that's what helps unlock things that
Yeah.
haven't.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly. The thing about finances is that it's not an emotional based atmosphere. Business is business.
I had to learn that
Yeah,
because I was very
it's not
emotional.
emotional. Very emotional. And what happens oftentimes, as you said yourself, you both have your own perspective. But if it doesn't come to an atmosphere where you have our perspective, then
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah.
start categorizing the I do section and I don't section.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
You know, even though we handle things, there needs to be a discussion about what we're handling.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, what
Yeah.
we're handling, and then how can we be of assistance to each other or have input?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that all has to be talked about, even when it relates to you as a spouse, what you feel about money coming into the marriage. Well, so the perspective that you bring into marriage, you have to communicate that. So when we got together, I I came from the perspective of I never had all of my money. All of my money was always gone
Yeah.
because I was a single mom. And before that, growing up, even as a teenager, I went to school, I worked two jobs, but my whole check had to help with the household bills
Mm-hmm.
for my mom because she was a single mom.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
And yeah, so it started out where we would split all the bills three ways. It was herself, me, and my brother. Then my brother got married, and then it was my mom and I, so it was split in half. So
Mm-hmm.
literally, I never had excess. I was always just making ends meet.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And then he comes along when we get married. He's just giving me his money and saying, "Go pay everything." And I had no management skills. I didn't know how to manage money.
Hey, because
Yeah, so but you have to talk about those things. And so he didn't understand why I was so emotional about it. And we finally had to just come together and sit down and say, okay, let me tell you how I grew up and
right,
how I feel about money.
and when you
right.
talk
And so
about
we were,
when you talk about management skills when it comes to that for me it was I did what I needed when I needed, and this could wait, that whatever. Sister has management skills.
yeah,
So whatever she says, I'm like, all right, I'm good. Let's roll because she's real good at it.
But I'm really in the camp with my sister, which is, you could take the whole basket.
Yeah.
Right? Because
yes,
as single parents, that grind is hard and that pressure
yeah,
is hard. And um women, and some of you all might disagree with this statement that I'm getting ready to make, but I'm gonna make it anyway.
Come on.
Women were not equipped to carry the weight of the family. Now we can
You can.
yeah,
because we've been
yep,
forced to,
Mhm.
but that's not how God created us.
That's
right.
So
right.
it is
Mm-mm.
a real burden for us to have to strap on that weight, whereas that's what he created man physically and
Right.
emotionally. Show that muscle again, babies.
Absolutely.
That's right there.
And emotionally to be able to do.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
while I can, I really don't want to.
No, she says often, when I was single, I did this. I don't want to, baby, here. But when it comes to making sure things are dotted, that
Mm,
yeah, but the rest, okay.
yeah.
Mm, mm. Two things that was crossing my mind as you were both talking. One, and we're in the same boat. The weight that we are designed to carry is to be able to provide an atmosphere where everybody flourishes. So
Mm,
even though she has a managerial skill. The pressure is what you carry,
Yeah.
but it doesn't alleviate your responsibility to put your best foot forward,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because if you got to carry the weight of making a decision, now you refer to, and that's what we didn't do
Mm.
because she is much more managerial than I am, obviously. But when it came to making a decision, because she's so emotionally involved because of the way that she is, by the time she got to me, she had already made the decision because she's frantic.
Mm.
And so I missed the opportunity to carry the weight
Mm.
because a lot of times, and I don't want to use the word male-centered or chauvinistic, but that whole power trip that goes with the man running the finances all the time, that's not biblical.
Right.
Although it's portrayed that way.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
No, I mean, just honestly, if we're gonna be truthful about it, right?
You're right.
I think that we have that responsibility. Now, there is the reality. Like now, we're at a point where everything is discussed, and I'm sensitive to what she needs me to carry.
Mm-hmm.
Now, whether she agrees with what I carry, what I decide, that may lead to something else. But at least she now is dependent on me.
Yeah.
So when we talk about that weight, right now, you're absolutely right. Because of circumstances, culture, manipulation, all of that, we've been separated and victimized into these roles that are not godly. So the weight that women have had to carry has, and it's still being perpetuated now.
Yes.
But the other part of that is it's not supposed to be. And I heard your prophet friend, he said very quickly, just because something is in error, you don't stop correcting the area by not, you don't stop correcting the error by not doing what's right. You
Right.
correct the error by doing what's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? By doing what's right. So once I realized that she needed me to make the weight or make the decision, now, okay. But what that challenged me was, here I am, I'm giving you what I think you need. I was operating from a position of lack of knowledge. So now I look at what you do need, so that as she's dealing with these things, or as we're sitting around and we're talking about it, we can go a little bit deeper.
Right. Look at every bill.
Yeah.
Look at when it's
Yeah.
due, looking at how much it is. Yeah, it took us a while to get to that point.
Yeah.
So.
I like the way the word of God, he put it in my spirit, Luke 14:28. When Jesus talks of, he basically says that you don't start something without counting up the cost.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of us in our marriages, we wing it
Yeah.
instead of planning it.
Yeah.
That's good.
Right. So if she feels like, if you want a new dress, and I had a rough week at the job, and I want to go on vacation.
Why are you looking at me, honey?
I'm sorry. My brother's looking at you. Go ahead, sir.
No. I'm sorry.
Now, the truth of the matter is, in your finances, if you set money aside for that, have at it.
But that has to be a discussion. Go ahead, sis.
So the way our household is financially, and this works for us. So we have what we call our slush fund. And we both contribute to the slush fund account. And when we decide we want to do something or go somewhere or want something, we go into the slush fund, and that's where we get it. But then we also have our separate business accounts, and we also have our separate checking accounts that we both manage, but the household does not go lacking. In fact, the only demand, and I use that word because it was forceful, and Gil is a pretty mellow, like, kind of, he'll go along with most things, but when he gets to the point where this is a firm belief, there's no gray area. So the only thing that he wanted to make sure that we did on a regular basis was our tithe.
Yeah.
Now, I was a sometime tither.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's just
Tell
the
the truth and
truth.
saying the devil.
It's just the truth.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, okay, this is what you say. And so now I consistently tithe along with him.
Uh-huh.
And
Good.
that's just a matter of part of how we handle our finances. But
Right.
that was really the only demand that he had. This is how we are going to honor God, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So,
Yeah.
okay. So, he said that, and every now and then I can get myself a nice dress.
There you go. I love that. You know, you said something really interesting. You said, this works for us.
Mm,
And that is so important.
Right. That's right.
Couples have to find out what works for them.
Yeah.
You can't always look over here at that couple or the couple over there and do what they're doing. You have to make sure it's something that makes sense to you and that works for you.
mm-hmm.
Because, we're all different people and yeah,
Well, different people with different lives, different
yeah,
different responsibilities as
right.
well. So in that regard, absolutely, especially when it comes to finances, where you can sit down together and say, "This is our objective."
Mm,
You know, your money is emotionless.
Hmm.
It's, it carries no emotion. What it brings you, that's emotional.
mm,
And if you don't have the wherewithal to separate the two, your needs will always be overtaken by your wants.
Yeah.
mm.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Always.
Right. Right.
You know?
And
Yeah. And
I think
go
for
ahead.
us, we don't talk much about dollars and cents as much as we talk about the goals of what we want to accomplish. And
Mm,
then that dictates how we spend. So,
mm,
for example, we want to buy a home. And so
mm-hmm.
we're both looking at and hold each other accountable regarding our credit scores.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
Right.
And so, it's still in the realm of finances,
Mm-hmm.
but we know that there are some things that we have to do to get
Mm-hmm.
our credit score to where it needs to be so that we can purchase the home. So that might
Mm-hmm.
mean instead of because he actually buys most of the groceries, right? So he
Mm-hmm.
might finagle how he does the groceries so he can
Hmm.
put an extra $200 on a credit card that is ultimately going to bring down the balance that he owes
Right.
Yeah.
and
Right.
Yeah.
increase the credit score. So I think
Mm-hmm.
we give each other freedom in that way by
Yeah.
just saying, here are the goals that we need to get accomplished for the first quarter. Let's do what we need to do so that we can hit that goal. And then we go
Yeah.
out.
That's
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
important.
Yeah.
Go ahead, sir.
It goes back to what you were saying, Kathy. You have to have the conversation. So
Yeah.
you can within yourself, you have to
Mm-hmm.
purposely say, I need to do things different.
Right.
In order to
Right.
get where we need to go,
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
you have to
Absolutely.
be sincere in order to be strategic. You can't be willy-nilly
Yeah.
and trying to do what others do.
Yeah.
It has to be what works for you.
Right.
Exactly.
And also, too, thinking about finances, you have to really be honest about what you feel concerning your money.
Mm,
Do you think it's just yours, or
mm.
Well,
is it something that
it's
is
it's
both of
it's
yours?
it
And a
hurts.
lot of people, well, some couples don't do that to my sister.
Thank you, sis. Thank
Got
you,
you, girl. But
sis.
some couples don't have that conversation and they're not honest about it.
Yeah.
Um, and that is really kind of selfish to think that you're coming into a marriage or you're part of a marriage and all of your money is yours.
Yeah.
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 I'm saying that for me and for us, but that is
Mhm.
a very selfish
It is.
way to think and to, handle money, thinking that it's all yours. You're in
Mhm.
a partnership, you're in a marriage, and, you know, that belongs to both of you.
And that my mentality is learned from an early age. And
Yeah.
you carry those things. And we're trying to really point out that it's that thing that's buried that keeps popping up.
Yeah.
You know, like she used to say to me, and she still does, stop giving me a plan if we're not going to do it.
Oh yeah.
You want to plan everything, but you're not doing it.
Yeah.
So we sat down.
That's accountability. I'm holding you accountable.
Okay.
Yes, it
Well,
is. We need to write
we
a song
sat down. We sat down and we looked at our finances.
It was so sad.
Letter.
It was so
to
sad.
the letter.
Mm-hmm.
And we literally
thousands of dollars. We just didn't know where it was.
Found almost $2,000 a month.
Like where?
That
out the window
was not accounted for.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of that was giftings. A lot of that was helping our children, out of the blue type of thing. And we've had to adjust and make a different plan that now we're doing, which means that I do the plan so I don't have to hear her say,
we're not doing what you planned.
But there's so much that finances is so convoluted, but it could be handled. Everything could be handled and brought under subjection to God.
Right.
You know, especially what he has for you. And no matter what your desire is, I think that with that mindset where you can get past the my, and run me my money, because that run me my money, it really does mean like, how should I say this?
The money is all mine. Yes.
But it's transactional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's transactional. And that'll lead us into the conversation next week when we talk about sexuality and marriage. But sometimes people are like, hey, run me my money, You
like saying that. Well, also too, I wanted to say, you also have to revisit your plans and your goals.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah.
Often.
Yeah.
To make sure they're working, and if it's not, you need to critique it and make changes where necessary.
Yeah.
I don't think that we have to be very clear that it's an ongoing process because our marriages are designed to grow. So anything that grows goes through challenge and it goes through tough times. And that part of you, whether it's me, whether it's I never handled money before, I never this, that, or the other, there has to be a grace in that plan to accommodate all those particular feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, there has to be a grace. You got to be gracious with each other, really. So there's some embedded stuff in us. Like I said earlier, when I would come home, I would work, I would get my check, I would give it to my mother, never seeing a bill, but knowing that I was helping her at the times. So by the time we got together, even though I had lived successfully for the most part by myself, but when I got with her, it was like, oh, here's my money, but I never looked at a bill. I continued the behavior that I grew up in.
Right.
Yeah.
So we really gotta look at those embedded long-term perspectives, and I think those become the opportunity to break out of our limitations. There's so much information in this age, and as we get older, we gotta stop. I was listening to a guy earlier today said, "I only pay my bills by mail. I ain't doing no direct online. I don't trust that stuff." And I said there going like, yeah, that does. I kind of feel like that too. But we have to come into where we are now. Yeah. God is progressive. He never changes. The methodology may change to get you where you're going to get, especially as you said earlier with this economy, because our finances have to mirror to a degree the economy. Yeah. It really does.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's some good stuff. And I think too, even as we are thinking about finances, and we got to think more than just the dollars and cents of it, especially at our age. What's our retirement going to look like? What is our life insurance going to look like?
Yeah.
What are we going to be able to leave to our children and our grandchildren?
Yeah.
Right,
And
right,
all
right.
of those
Right.
conversations are part of understanding our finances, and how we
Yeah.
manage that will really
Mm.
determine what financial legacy we leave for our family. So
True,
Absolutely.
I think
true,
that's
true.
important, and I know this is going to be a great, great, great conversation when we get to our marriage and ministry brunch, because as
Yeah.
Oh,
we've
yeah.
been
Oh, yeah.
saying for the past 3 weeks, if you can apply these things,
Yeah.
marriage does not
Does
have
not
to
Has
be
to
a
be
Zoom.
Absolutely.
Well, you know, absolutely.
So
I
marriage
agree.
doesn't have to be a Zoom. Listen, we thank you all, Kathy and Chester, again for the great information
Yes.
and wisdom
Yes.
of your almost 30 years. And you all need to come to this marriage and ministry brunch.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Burgess mentioned it at the top, but again, it is for all married church leaders. It doesn't matter what position you are in. If you are
Mhm.
serving in ministry,
Yes.
it means
Yeah.
from the parking lot attendant,
Yep.
servant, all the way to the pastorate.
Yes.
If you're serving in ministry and you're married, we want you to come. This is going to be a very unique opportunity where
Yeah.
married church leaders can have open and honest conversations. And we don't get
Yeah.
that
Exactly.
opportunity to do that often. So don't forget April 18th. Go ahead, baby.
And I want to add to that, when we think about our coming together as leaders, it also will help empower us to help those whom we are ministering to.
Yeah.
You want to give us just a little teaser, Chester, on what we're talking about next episode?
What are we
Y'all
talking
buckle up,
about? You
buckle
got it?
up.
I believe that we're talking about sexual rhythm
Oh my.
in marriage. Rhythm. There's a lot in that word.
Yeah, we might have to keep that. Yeah, we have to keep that light. The details for the brunch.
Yeah.
Y'all, I know y'all gonna tune in for that.
Yes. Yes.
And no more it's
Yes.
your thing. You can do what you want to do. No, it's a rhythm. Beautiful.
Well, again, thank you all so much. We love you all.
Yes, indeed.
We love
Love you
you.
too. Thank you so much.
And we'll
Have a
see you
great
again
evening.
soon, next week.
Yes.
Yes.
Next week.
Looking forward to it.
All right.
God bless.